Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today we would like to present our slide based on the paper entitled Design Meeting Context, a general English course for Burmese adults. So here we go to the first slide. Okay, so in this paper, actually there are some subtopics that we will discuss, including a glance of Burmese conditions, environmental analysis, need analysis, principles, and others. But before we are going there, let's discuss first about teaching in social context. So when we are talking about teaching in social context, we cannot separate it with contextual learning. What is contextual learning? Contextual learning here means learning that is adapted to where, who, and how the students are. So the material and teaching technique will be in line with students' competency and background. In this concept, teaching and learning English focus not only teaching English as a foreign language that must be learned, but a foreign language as communicative things in the worldwide, or what we could say it's lingua franca. However, in this paper, English learning books in Burma still use book who adapted curriculum from US or UK. So the country that use English as a first language or as a main language. This is triggers a gap for countries that use English for foreign language such Burma because there is a burdening factor like language acquisition time for the students. So the next slide we will going to discuss about Burmese condition there. So since 1962, people who live in Myanmar or Burma are greatly influenced by the of policies of the military junta government, both political, economic, and education. Many scholars and traditional leaders there were persecuted by the military government for criticizing them, and many people from Burma seek asylum in other countries such as Thailand, Bangladesh, and Laos, which eventually causes them to stay and form a new colonies in refugee camp. Okay, during the evacuation there was finally awareness of the importance of creating a new curriculum that adapted of their needs. The curriculum project, or we can call it CP, was created in 2001 with the aim of developing curriculum materials and teacher training to meet the needs of adult students who have recently graduated from the high school in refugee camp in Karen and Karani camp. Availability of teaching material there and curricula there are to focus on US and UK we discussed before because it is not suitable for their level and their context. And finally, during May 2002 until May 2004, there were 12 modules that had been completed, but some materials were removed because they were considered subversive or against the military junta. The curriculum is focused on contextual and useful things to encourage students' critical thinking. Okay, after this, we will discuss about environmental analysis, which consists of four factors: students, teachers, situation, and project. Okay, the first is students analysis. I mean the environmental analysis based on student factor. So by using questionnaire and discussion also and focus group indicated a wide range of reasons for studying English for them. One is a desire to access higher education in English, both in university in Burma or on a board. And also their focus and employment in the service sector, particularly in tourism sector, and emigration to English-speaking countries such as UK or US because they are living in military junta, so they want to immigrate to other countries. So and then the next is understanding international media. Yes, of course, it is a need to understand international media, which is international media using English as their language. And also using English for international lobbying were among the most common reason in Burmese students. And then after that, we can see here teacher factors. Okay, some factors that based on observation toward the teacher. Teacher, the first is teacher who want have career aim to provide a best learning for their student, of course, waiting a good progress for their student. Also, passionate about trying a new technique or a new way of teaching and being open to new idea coming. And then some are forced to teach because they need more teachers there. There are so many refuge camp, I mean, so the need of the teacher is still a lack, and the salary is also very low there. And some senior teachers are still skeptical about modern technology, so they just use a traditional method for teaching English. And then the fourth is several foreign teachers from abroad, like from UK or US, as a international campaign to save a children from, yeah, like UNESCO and so on, is have a different levels or experiences. And then for situation factors. There are many independent language teaching programs that exist in the homes of their respective teachers. So some teachers build their program in their own home. So the students come to the teacher home and learning English by adopting the curriculum from the current government, or even they are creating their own curriculum itself. And another situation is that many refugee camps have language development programs but are still haunted by the fear that they will be deported to Burma by Thailand government. So they need English language skill to consider to be a social revolution in Burma. So, and then inadequate facilities such as many camps do not have electricity, internet, telephone, and computers. So just a little, very little camp that have that. And then for the project factor, actually, when we are talking about environmental analysis, it is only three factors. But in this paper, here is one more factors that's stated by the researcher. Okay, so the project is part of Taibai network, which aim to equip this individual with the new knowledge, skills, attitude, and qualification, and also network for their effectively they can keep their social justice, human development, and reconciliation in Burma. And the focus selected was English for community development, ethnic reconciliation, and positive social change in Burma. And and one burdening item is the lack of expert in the formulation of material, making the design, making the curriculum, making model layout, and also expert in the IT field. So there are that some project items that will be effect on the curriculum design. The next will be my friend Dimas.
Needs analysis, aims and method. The needs of this target group were assessed to identify gaps between what students can do and what they should do, used to design their own materials. A further goal is to determine the extent to which existing courses adequately meet this need, and to provide them with evidence to justify their choice language, content, skills, and sequencing to decision makers. One of the most influential components was curriculum project's comprehensive diagnostic testing of students entering the post-10 programs in 2007. Other formal and semi-formal methods included teachers and student questionnaires, observing trainees in curriculum project teacher trainings workshop, observing classes, teaching teams, examining sample student work, collect and analysis data from written tests, interview teachers and students, analyze textbooks commonly used by teachers in the target group, and survey available academic literature on relevant topics. They spend many years chatting with teachers, students, and the other stakeholders, holding ad hoc meetings on related topics, and teaching English classes to their target group. Such informal assessment may have an equal or even greater effects on the final content of the course. Next, key result. In some cases, the need is not even immediately apparent. It is not clear under what circumstance a particular group of students should really use English. Prior learning usually focus on reading and writing formulas, with an emphasis on producing grammatical correct forms. Therefore, wider range of oral reading and writing skills usage and fluence are seen as priorities, more basic than neutral transfer of skills, knowledge, or competencies. Assessment of educational needs among the Burmese community consistently demonstrates the need for a curriculum that encourages critical thinking, inquiry, and greater awareness of local and global issues. Many classes explicitly try to combine learning English with the development of critical thinking skills and understanding of important social issues. Needs assessment is an ongoing process and informed course evaluation feeding into future drafts of general English because target groups for the course changing goals, content, and techniques have been reshaped and redesigned. Challenge in understanding the context. Their assessment fell short of the ideal in a number of ways. Many important stakeholders are not included or are insufficient due to communication or access difficulties. Some live in areas designated off limit by relevant authorities. Some engage in political activities or which contact is also risky. Their needs are often explained by third parties or assumed, like those living in remote rural areas do not want course components that require electricity or internet to operate. Some types of stakeholders have more influence than others. It is a challenge to extract meaningful comment and the majority of their core target group. One particularly influential group are foreign teachers, both volunteers and paid staff, who work with Burmese education and exile organization. These people are more likely to have the time, confidence, and educational background needed to offer an opinion. Many teachers and other educational decision makers have strong opinions about the degree to which their students should learn that differ from the proficiency of the target student demonstrated by diagnostic testing. Some examples of you expressed they have done the simple present tense, they need to learn more difficult tense, they need an international level English in order for students to enter international universities. Needs are not homogeneous or static. All stakeholders may have different views on this need. The needs of a particular individual or group may also change in response to circumstance.
Okay, the next is the implementation. For the implementation, the first one is the principles. The first is the course must be flexible. It means that this course must be flexible with the condition of the student and the teacher in the Burmese. The second is the course must be clearly communicable. It means that the teacher must be confident when they teaching the students in the Burma. The third is the course must be self-contained. The course must be comprehensive and also needs longer time in the process because the learning process here needs to focuses and do not require access to outside sources of input, output, and interaction. Next is content and sequencing. The first one is the topic was selected based on the preference of key stakeholder. It means that the most topic for discuss in the course must be the usual language that happen in their social life like word, knowledge, environmental, historical, and we can also use the relatively little about celebrities, holiday, and teenage lifestyle. The second is the structural syllabus, mostly adapted from the published course. It means that the structural syllabus mostly adapted from the published course with added some elements from the request of the teachers and analyzes areas which people from Burma find difficult. Some of the course need to eliminate it by the request of the teacher and the people there. The third is the structures and vocabulary are treated more than the grammar. In contrast with the most student and study about. They study about form more than the experience. The next is diagnostic testing of key target groups. It is informed the starting level of the course from the lower level than most other pre-intermediate courses. The next is there is heavy vocabulary load which is listed at the end of each unit. It is used to help the students to memorize the heavy vocabularies. It depends on class and the individual needs. Next is the attention was given to increase the vocabulary skills and the structure which were recycled throughout the book. Next, each unit has a learner's training section and communication strategies and encourages a reflective approach to the learning process. The eighth, Western sociolinguistics and cultural norms are treated as a new information and explained in either the student's or the teacher's book. Next, the teacher's handbook includes extra activities of classes and courses that does not having timing suggested frequency and the duration of the class. It means that the activities and there is no not having timing suggested. The timing of the course it is also flexible. Okay, the last a variety of accent native expert and learner were used in the audio. They need to study about the accent of the native based from the audio because they don't know about the English. Next, this is the course book format that used in this course. The course book is printed using as well as photocopied to keeping costs down. There is no color image or text except on the cover. The second, the CD includes PDF copies of both books plus a number of CPS other sources as well as the audio and encourage independent adaptation, printing, copying, and distribution. The third is this course is only using one book, General English for the student that contains exercises, material, and a grammar reference at the end. The next, the teacher's book contains placement and unit tests. and is interleaved with body of the student's book material that easy to use. The book is contained of the CD in MP3 format and consists of 12 units course. The next one is concern. Concern is about the lack of discourse. The first one is discourse is significantly longer than commercial textbook because some structures and functions are covered in extensive and arguably unnecessary detail. The second, the somewhat haphazard development process has led to part of the course lacking. Here, it means that the consistency, particularly the structural and functional syllabus, the completeness, particularly the reading and pronunciation syllabus, adequate integration into the rest of the course is particularly the pronunciation syllabus. As GP cannot hire the professional actor or audio engineers, so the quality of the audio recording is of varying quality. The fourth, many teachers may have some difficulties in changing their teaching style in order to use this course effectively because of situation and the condition of the social. Next, many teachers will lack the language skills to give adequate feedback and to understand the instruction and the explanation in the teacher's book.
Future direction. General English Elementary is in the planning and drafting stage and is a focus for curriculum project throughout 2010 and 2011. Supplementary materials on extensive reading and writing, persuasive writing skills have been produced, and a teaching skills curriculum designed to be taught by trainers in remote communities is in process, with a view to a future edit when funding and project resources allow.
Okay, the next one is the conclusion. This is the conclusion of the article. Okay, this is the conclusion. The first one is, as an English teacher, we need to know the social, the external factors of the students, the characteristic of mental condition, and also their environment. The second is, in the developing of the course book and the material, we need to know the problem that what we are facing, like in the course, and also other problems that may arise when we developing the material. The third is, teachers need to understand the student needs in the developing of the materials. The teachers also cannot get the same goals for the students that having the special condition like the people in the Burma. Next, the topic that will be used in the course must be relevant with the condition in that place. It means that we need to modify the book that will be used in teaching over there. Next, the teacher cannot take something unusually strange for them as a material of the study. The last, by using the new method of teaching, we can improve their skills and also our skills as a teacher by developing new ways of the study.